العوافي يا جماعة, and welcome to another episode of اتمشى مع Brian. So first things first is due to some technical difficulties, I changed the mic that I was using before to a different mic. So this will be the first recording on this, so let me know in the comments whether this is a better sound quality or a worse off one, because obviously after recording this we'll be able to see and then determine whether or how to adjust the settings of this mic. But also one of the things that I feel like I'm lucky about right now is that today the weather, وعن جد هيدي بيقولوها باستراليا انه بالنهار الواحد بيقطع عليك 4 فصولة. So بلش النهار كان شوب وشمس, وصلت درجة الحرارة لل 34, وفجأة طافت الدنيا, شتي كب يعني. وهلا شي وصلت على البيت صحت لي الفرصة انه راحوا الغيوم وصحيت الدنيا. And actually right now in front of me I'm seeing these beautiful God rays بين الغيوم, لأنه الشمس عم تطلع بيناتهم as it's setting, and it's generally quite a scene. So also a lucky thing that's happening with us today on our walk today. قلنا كلمة today مرتين هلا. So the topic of the day. هلا أنا not only do I want to use this podcast to kind of talk about different topics, but also to kind of reminisce or to think back on real life situations that happened to me or with me, and what they remind me of and kind of the lessons we learned behind that. And one such situation was a wedding that we had on Sunday, or me and the family had on Sunday. And lucky, it was obviously like any Lebanese wedding, it was a 4-day thing. The wedding was on Sunday. So since Thursday, كله ليلية هون ليلية هون, قعدة جلسة إلى آخره. And to be honest with you, أنا كنت عطلان هم اليوم يطلع صوتي, لأنه on Monday, which was 2 days ago, ما كان في صوت بالمرة, بس lots of honey and tea, مش الحال. And I kind of not only cherish, but I really treasure our traditions, and especially a Lebanese wedding. يعني شو حلو العرس اللبناني. العرس اللبناني اللي بيكون كل العالم وكل القرايبين موجودين. Hey, how you going, man? Huh? Yeah, I know. You see, he almost ran you over with the dog. Cheers. See you, Dexter. هذا حرام زلمة معطر هون باستراليا. بقى المهم كنا عم نحكي عن الأعراس اللبنانية أو العرس in general. And before I start delving into why I like or I love Lebanese weddings, one of the things that once happened to me home Australia, I had in my previous work, I had a co-worker came by, and he's a very good guy, dear friend. And I knew that he was seeing someone. I knew that they were engaged. And it had been that situation for a while. Until one day, it was a weekend. جينا من الويكند, Monday, قاعدين بالشغل أنا وياه. عم بطلع أنا, I was just having casual conversation إنه what'd you do this weekend? And he's like, oh, I got married. I was like, wait, what the fuck? What do you mean you got married, bro? Like the concept of it being something so simple and so fast was absurd to me. And no, I asked him, like, what'd you do? He's like, oh yeah, we had like this small ceremony, a couple of friends, a couple of family members. We went to church and then went to a nice little restaurant and had dinner. I was like, all right, well, first, like, no honeymoon? And he's like, oh yeah, we'll go in like a month's time. I was like, okay. And like, how was it? Like, I was genuinely curious just to know because the way he was expressing it was just so, heck, for lack of a better word, emotionless. And he's like, yeah, it was great. We had fun, and now she's my wife. And I was like, God damn, man. Like, I'm thinking, like, my cousin's wedding, which was almost a year ago, it was like a 4 month thing. Like, بدنا نروح نعمل هيك وبدنا نروح نعمل هيك وبدنا نحضر هيك. And everyone at work knew that I had my cousin's wedding because they'd ask me every weekend, like, what are you doing? And I'd be like, oh, we gotta go buy a suit. Oh, we gotta go shop for a car. Oh, we gotta go do something for the wedding. And like, it's just, it's the amount of preparation that comes into the celebration is an indication of how much that event means to you and what it stands for in your life. And I feel like in some civilizations or in some like traditions, they don't seem to kind of share that same love and enthusiasm and care for something as important as a wedding. Like at the end of the day, a wedding is meant to be a once in a lifetime thing. Now I know shit happens and sometimes people get separated or whatever it is, but the intent behind the wedding is for it to be a celebration of love to the person that you're meant to spend the rest of your life with. And yet I didn't feel that enthusiasm coming from this guy. And I'm not saying that like for him it doesn't mean the same to me. Of course it does. But the celebration and the event of celebrating a wedding is something that's very important, man. And it's just it mind boggled me like how the misconception happens or how the different perspective changes between someone that's not used to a Lebanese wedding and someone that's only been to Lebanese weddings, which is me. And to be honest, n- again, it could be a bias. Yeah, I'm definitely biased because I am Lebanese. But at the end of the day, like if I were someone with a neutral standpoint and I'm looking at both celebrations, I'll fucking go to the Lebanese wedding, bro. Like, look at these people. First of all, there's a shit ton of people, one, and they're all there to celebrate or to celebrate with you that declaration of love. So that's amazing. The food is fucking top notch every time. The dancing, like, no, you just on paper, one of them looks better than the other. And I feel like that's something, or that's a part of our tradition that is so beautiful, is that we take the effort and we take the time to actually celebrate these milestones in our lives. And I think that's very important for a person because it allows you to celebrate with the people you love so that they share into this celebration. It creates a stronger bond. And plus, weddings are usually times when people just go crazy in terms of dancing or drinking or whatever it is. And that also strengthens the bonds between you and your friends and your family and everything like that. And I feel like that's something that's so vital in our lives as any human being from any culture. Just strengthening and building these connections with your loved ones is so important because like what is life if you're just by yourself? You need society, you need your family, you need your friends, and the best way to show them how much you appreciate them is by inviting them to celebrate with you this wonderful event that you're doing. And as with, and now we jump back to the wedding that I held on Sunday, which was so beautiful. Um, I saw so many of my friends, so many of my family that I hadn't seen in a long time. And keep in mind, this is probably one of the first, or some of the few, not the first, but some of the few weddings that I've had here in Australia. And a lot of the people that attended this wedding are عالم ربوني أنا لما كنت صغير بس بعد ما فلت على لبنان هني دلوا هون. So there's a lot of people that I haven't seen for 30 plus years. And then I see them and it's so beautiful to see that even after that period of time, or even after that various change that has happened in the past 30 years, that connection and that bond was still there. And not only was I so happy to see them, but they were so happy to see me. And it's a beautiful moment of expressing one's love to another person, especially like a relative and everything like that. And you go to this wedding, so all the friends and family are there. For the past 5 days I've been seeing these guys, whether كان بالليلية عنده ولا بالليلية عند العروس ولا هون هيك ولا هون هيك. And you reminisce on the good times, you remember all the things that used to spend time doing, and it's so it's so fulfilling, or at least for me it was, because you feel like it it just pours the life, or the life essence, back into you when you remember that these people influenced your life and you did this as well. And it's so important to kind of sit there and celebrate with them on this beautiful day. And also witnessing the wedding just reminds me of how beautiful our traditions are. Like الزفية اللي بتكون موجودة، وحتى العجقة اللي بتكون موجودة، والعالم اللي عم بتزقف، والعالم اللي عم بتهيص، والعالم اللي عم ترقص، والدبكة اللي بتصير، وكل هذا. It just I remember in that wedding when I was there, just stepping back, taking a break from the dance floor. I was stepping back and just at my table looking, and I'm going like, I love this part of our culture. And I love the fact of how someone's happiness could be an element of uniting all of these families. That when you live in a country like Australia, people here don't see each other or see each other as often as they do in Lebanon. بلبنان قطعة الطريق بتشوف ستة سبعة من عندك من العائلة، بتضيع بتشوف هيدا، بتسلم على هيدا بالقهوة، بتشوف هيدا. هيدي شوي منها موجودة هون، or صعب تلاقيها هون، لأنه العالم بتكون مشغولة بشغلها. آم، وكمان بنفس الوقت في مسافات، في distances بتبعد عن العالم. سو لحتى يكون عندك event مثل هذا العالم بتركض عليه، or the people I love, they run towards something like this, because not only are they gonna enjoy the celebration, but they're also gonna see the people that they love, that they don't get the chance to see as often as they did back home or بلبنان. وهيدي شغله كتير حلوه، انه it's just مثل ما قلت لكم، هيك وقفت وطلعت هيك وقلت عن جد مان الحمد لله نحن انه A, for this lovely celebration, but B, for the fact that I'm blessed with this beautiful family and these people that are there to celebrate someone else's joy, not only their own. But at that point, it no longer becomes that person's celebration alone. It becomes a collective celebration, because we're uniting two people as one, and we're starting a new family, and we're bonding two families to each other as well. It's beautiful, and I think I wanted to use today's episode just to highlight how, even though it's one of many traditions that we have in our culture, قديش الأعراس حلوة، والأعراس اللبنانية كتير حلوة. يعني العرس هو بحد ذاته هو شيء كتير حلو، بس العرس اللبناني هو شيء مثل كأنه جبت انت دجاج وحطيت عليه السبايس. الدجاج لحاله طيب، بس تحط عليه البهارات وتظبطه مزبوط بيصير شيء غير شكل. And that was I'm lucky. And I guess everyone here, or everyone that's listening to this that is Lebanese, I also think that you should consider yourself lucky to be part of this civilization, to be part of this culture that doesn't shy away from expressing love, but also doesn't shy away from joining in someone's celebration and joining in someone else's love. So that I feel is something عن جد. It's so nice. And one thing that happened to me during that wedding, which was something that also kind of it happened, and it's an instance that I remembered that I wanted to talk about today. So, as you know, in every Lebanese wedding, it's a single person's nightmare, like myself, because everyone's there going عقبالك 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 عقبالك. And for those of you who don't understand Arabic, well, actually, yeah, for those of you who don't understand Arabic, عقبالك means they're wishing the same on you. So they want to see you celebrating your love one day. So عقبالك 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 عقبالك, and at some point it gets to you. Like I was like, oh my god, if إذا هسه بعد واحد بيقول لي عقبالك بدي أضربه. And I was saying this to my cousin who's also single. And then I was stepping outside for some reason, and an old family friend was standing there. And he looks at me and he goes عقبالك. قلت له بتعرف كنت عم بقول بيني وبين حالي انه اذا هسه حدا بيقول لي عقبالك بدي اضربه، بس انه اكيد ما في اضربك انت، يعني انه قام قال لي ليه؟ ليه انت بدك تضرب الانسان اللي عم بيقول لك عقبالك؟ قلت له انه ما بعرف هيك، لانه هي انه هيك بتضايق بالراس، يضلوا يقولوا لك عقبالك مثل البرغشه. قال لي بس انت ليه عم تشوفها هيك؟ قال لي ما هن عم بيقولوا لك عقبالك لانه هن بيريدوا لك نفس الشيء. هن بيريدوا لك انه انت تكون بهيدي المرحله من حياتك اللي بتكون انت عم ب... عم بت عم تتجوز و again celebrating your love and everything like that. And all of a sudden it clicked. It clicked in my head that this thing that a lot of people hate or a lot of people find annoying about Lebanese weddings, هي كلمة العقبالك اللي بتضلها موجودة. It's actually another way for them to express how much they love you as well, because they wish this celebration on you. عقبالك يلا. But it was a moment where I kind of stepped back again and realized that maybe there's something that I'm thinking or something that I'm saying that I should change the way I perceive it or change the way I think about this, because in reality it's not something that's meant to antagonize me or something that's meant to poke at me, or maybe in some small instances it is, but on the general scheme and on the general format, big picture, it's just people wishing you the same thing, wishing you blessings and wishing that you also get the chance to share this experience as well. And I think that's something that's beautiful even beyond words. Like even as I'm saying this, I'm trying to find the words to express what I'm feeling or what I want to say, but it's hard because it's genuinely just so beautiful. And I'm reiterating the same point. So I think the first thing that I learned from my experience in that wedding is that I am lucky and I'm blessed to be part of this culture and to be able to experience something like this, because I've had friends of mine at work that go, "Oh man, I've been to a Lebanese wedding. You guys go off. It's so beautiful. It's so nice. The dancers and everything." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's like maybe 5% or not even 5% of what we are as a people." And it just reminds me and grounds me in the fact that truly we are lucky to be born in this beautiful country named Lebanon, and to be born in this country that has these traditions and has these means or ways of celebrating the small joys and the big joys in life, because they're meant to be big joys and they're meant to be celebrated this way, because not only does it make you feel good about helping someone or celebrating with someone, but it also makes the whole event itself, the wedding, so much more memorable to the person that's getting married in the start. So lucky, we're very lucky to have been born in this place and sharing this culture. And the second thing that I realized in this wedding, or I kind of got to experience again in this wedding, is the love of family. So most Lebanese families and most Lebanese weddings include a big family, because it's not a choice. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm having a wedding, I'm gonna invite my siblings, a couple of cousins, maybe my grandmother, my grandfather, and that's it. That's gonna be the wedding. That's not the case in a Lebanese wedding. You can't just do that. There's so many people that you need to invite, because they'll be so upset if you don't. Like, what? How could you get married without telling me? They'd genuinely be upset that you actually went through something as important like this and didn't invite them. So having that big family is also something that's like a cultural milestone or a cultural standpoint in Lebanese culture is the inclusion of a bigger, broader family. And because of this method, or because of this way that we celebrate our weddings, and including all of this big family, like I was saying in the beginning of the podcast, I got to see people that I haven't seen in such a long time. People that were so surprised to see me all grown up, or people that I was so surprised to see all grown up, like kids that I hadn't seen in a long time. And they're there, almost as tall as I am. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, we need these events, because this connection that happens between us and our families, these are kind of the milestones that we use to kind of recognize where we're going in life and how they're going in life. Like right now, the images that I had of some of my cousins were little kids that were running around, or the images of some of these people, what they had of me was little kids that were running around. But now my image of these cousins are, they're mature teenagers, and other people's views of me are like, he's grown up. And I touched base, or this is a Australian expression, or like touching base, but like I kind of reconnected with people that, for example, raised me for the first 5 years of my life when I was still here in Australia, and hadn't seen me since. And so, like, imagine seeing someone as a 5-year-old, and then all of a sudden you're seeing them now, and they're a 33-year-old, and you go, like it يعني ما عم عن جد ما عم بقدر الاقي الكلمة لحتى اقدر اوصف قد ايه انا محظوظ بانه عندي هيدي العائلة الكبيرة يلي بدها تشاركني بالمناسبات ال- المناسبات الكبيرة يلي بتصير بحياتي، ويلي كلهم عم بيقولوا لي عقبالك، لانه هن بدهم يجوا، وبدهم يجوا يشجعوا، بدهم يجوا ينبسطوا معنا ويهيصوا معنا. وانه it's I'm lucky. I am very lucky, and I am very blessed. Again, I always say this, always remember and always be thankful for whatever you have in your life, because what you have and you take for granted, sometimes people wish for. And so, having experienced this wedding on Sunday made me remember how lucky I am, to be part of this beautiful culture and this beautiful method of celebrating these big milestones in your life, but also B, how lucky I am to have this this family of mine, and how anyone should always consider themselves as someone that's very lucky if they have loved ones that care for them, and people that are willing to drive for hours or travel by plane just to come and sit there with you and celebrate this event with you. And yeah, I think sometimes we get caught up in our little worlds. We get caught up with our small problems, and we make them big, because when we don't see the broader context of what is in our lives, we forget to be thankful and we forget to be grateful. And so, no matter what the issues that you're going with at work, or no matter what the issues you're going with your partner, whatever it is, when you remember and see the broader image again, when you remember what it is that you have in your life and how lucky you are to have it, because some people don't have that, all of the problems that you're experiencing at the moment, no matter how petty, they all go away, because you realize that there's so much to be thankful for, that whatever this big problem, and no matter how big I'm making it in my head, is it really worth it compared to all the good that I have in my life? Whether it's health, whether it's your family's health, whether it's food on your table, whether it's, I don't know, the ability to walk, anything. You think of anything and you start to realize that you're actually so lucky, because some people don't have that, and yet they have they still have the will to live and to move and to be what they need to be or what they want to be in life. And so this wedding was one of those instances where I stepped back and I remembered how blessed I am and how lucky I am to have experienced something like this and have it as a staple in my life. I know whatever wedding I'm going to go to, if it's a Lebanese family, it's going to be that crazy. It's going to be عجقة وبدها تكون دبكة وبدها تكون رقص وبده يكون عرق وبده تكون كبة نية وزفة ورقص وعياط وصوت مبحوح على 3 أيام. And I will gladly do this every time because I'm proud to be part in this culture, and I'm proud to be a part of celebrations that embrace my culture and embrace who we are, because we are a culture that, in terms of when it comes to these celebrations, we don't shy away from love and we don't shy away from expressing love. And I wish everyone could experience this wedding or this form of celebration. But that's not the case. And as I was mentioning with my previous coworker, he like, at some point when he was telling me, I wasn't surprised because he didn't do it or he didn't celebrate it the same way we do. I was surprised because I'd never expect something as a wedding to not be celebrated as much as we celebrate ours. And I never expected a wedding not to include all the people you love, or the majority of the people you love and care about in your life, because it's a declaration of love to the world. And so you want them there with you when you're doing this and when you're saying your vows. And we're blessed, man. We're very lucky. We're very blessed. And so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. It's just sometimes when you're going through life, life is ups and downs. Anyone that believes that life is meant to be just happy is living a delusion, because the reality of life is that it goes up and down and up and down. And so the best thing you can do is really enjoy those ups, because you never know when they're going to be there. You never know how often they're going to be there. And you never know when the downs are going to come in. So I think that's an opportunity for us, or events like these are an opportunity for us to remind ourselves why we're like this, how lucky we are to be part of something like this, and how sometimes an expression of love is felt way stronger and way bigger when you include more people. وما علي يا شباب، خليني يقولوا شباب وبنات خليني يقولوا لنا عقبالك قد ما بدك، لأنه مثل ما صار معي أنا هلا عم بقول مثل ما قلت لكم، عقبالك هي it's another way of someone telling you that I care about you وأنا ما برد لك إلا الخير وبريد إنه أنت تكون مبسوط بهيدي الحياة. So we're lucky. وإنه كمان هلا putting all of this aside، إنه كس اختفي أحلى من العرس اللبناني مان. إنه عن جد it's برو، يعني رجعت على البيت أنا جاي ما عم بحس فيهم عاد ما كنا عم نرقص، صوتي كان رايح، خيي فطق بنطلونه قد ما كنا عم نرقص. يعني it's just it's the extremity of this event that makes it so beautiful, because it's meant to be this extreme. It's not meant to be something that just happens or something that's like almost like going out on a Friday night. No, bro. It's not something that happens over a weekend and that's it. It's meant to be something that you involve yourself in for a broader time and a broader time span, because that's what it is. The more time you spend on something and the more time you spend preparing something is an indicator of how important that something is in your life. And so, yeah, our weddings are crazy. Yeah, they take ages. And yeah, we prepare for them in a long time, whether it's seating arrangements or suit shopping or dress shopping or whatever it is, or like honeymoon, all of this is, in my view, the natural way, or the best way of how these events should happen. But also at the same time, it's just so beautiful. So be grateful for being part of this culture and to get to experience celebrations like these. Be grateful because when we celebrate like this, we include the broader family and the bigger family, and you remember your connections, your roots, and the people that care about you. And use these ups in our life, in your lives, just like I use them in mine, to fuel you and to give you the power to keep moving on and keep traversing whatever troubles you might have. Because like I said, sometimes, and I fall victim to this, I fall victim to this scenario as well as anyone, where we get stuck in our small worlds and our small problems, and we think we make them so big because we forget the broader image. But when you take a step back and you look at the broader image, you start to realize that half of, not half, almost all of the problems that you think you're having or you've made so big are actually not so big at all. And with that, بحب لكم شكرا again لكل العالم, to everyone that's listening, to everyone that's supporting, to whatever way that you're supporting me in this podcast. I am very thankful and very grateful. And also, this is kind of another one of those experiences where I get to realize how blessed I am to have all of you guys listening in. And so with that, I'll end today's episode. بقولكم إنه وهيك وشكرا.